Axl Rose has always been more than just the singer of Guns N' Roses. He was a storm. From the late 1980s, Axl became known not only for his powerful voice and wild stage presence, but also for his explosive temper. Fans loved the danger he brought to rock music. Critics feared it. And other musicians? Many of them learned the hard way that Axl Rose did not forget, and he did not forgive easily. Behind the scenes, rock was not just about music. It was about egos, respect, loyalty, and control. Axl took all of that very seriously. If he felt disrespected, ignored, or betrayed, the anger stayed with him for years, sometimes decades. While many artists moved on, Axl carried old wounds like scars he refused to hide. For a long time, Axl stayed silent about certain feuds. Interviews were tense, answers were vague, but over the years, stories slipped out through bandmates, producers, and rare honest moments from Axl himself. Slowly, a list began to form, musicians who pushed him too far, crossed lines, or represented everything he hated about the music industry. These were not small disagreements. These were deep personal grudges that shaped tours, delayed albums, broke friendships, and in some cases changed rock history forever. Some of these musicians were legends. Some were former heroes. Some were once close friends. In this story, we look at the 6 musicians Axl Rose hated the most. Not rumors, not gossip, but real conflicts, real words, and real consequences. To understand Axl Rose, you must understand these feuds, because his anger, his pride, and his pain are woven into every scream he ever sang. And once you hear the full story, you may never listen to Guns N' Roses the same way again. Axl Rose admired Nirvana at first. He respected their raw sound and the way they changed rock overnight. Kurt Cobain was the voice of a new generation, and Axl saw something powerful in that. But admiration quickly turned into bitterness. The problem was respect, or what Axl felt was a lack of it. Kurt Cobain openly mocked Guns N' Roses in interviews. He criticized their image, their lyrics, and what they stood for. To Kurt, Guns N' Roses represented old-school macho rock. To Axl, those comments felt personal. The situation exploded when Axl allegedly confronted Kurt backstage and demanded an apology. Kurt refused. He did not care about Axl's status or fame. That rejection hit Axl hard. In his world, respect was non-negotiable. Things got worse when Axl insulted Courtney Love and their child in public. Kurt never forgave that. From that moment, any chance of peace was gone. Axl later admitted he felt deeply angered by Kurt's attitude, calling it disrespectful and arrogant. What made this feud even more painful was Kurt's death. After Cobain passed away, Axl expressed regret. He admitted the anger went too far, but the damage was already permanent. This feud wasn't about music. It was about pride, ego, and 2 strong personalities who refused to back down. One represented the past, the other represented the future, and neither was willing to bend. No feud hurt Axl Rose more than Slash. They built Guns N' Roses together. They shared dreams, stages, and global success, but they also shared addiction, chaos, and constant arguments. Axl wanted control. Slash wanted freedom. Axl focused on perfection. Slash lived for the moment. Over time, their differences turned into hatred. Slash hated Axl's delays and demands. Axl hated Slash's lifestyle and lack of discipline. The breaking point came when Axl refused to release music unless he had full control. Slash felt trapped. He later said working with Axl became impossible. The band slowly fell apart. What followed were years of insults through interviews and books. Axl accused Slash of betrayal. Slash accused Axl of manipulation. Fans were forced to choose sides. For years, Axl refused to even say Slash's name on stage. The pain was real. This was not a business split. It was a broken brotherhood. Their eventual reunion shocked the world, but the scars remain. This feud shaped rock history and nearly destroyed the greatest band of their generation. Axl Rose and Vince Neil of Motley Crue clashed because neither man liked being challenged. The feud began after an incident involving Vince allegedly assaulting a Guns N' Roses bandmate. Axl demanded an apology. Vince ignored him. Instead of settling it privately, Axl called Vince out publicly, even threatening him from the stage. What followed was pure rock chaos. Insults in magazines, fans choosing sides, both singers feeding the fire. To Axl, Vince represented irresponsibility without accountability. To Vince, Axl was arrogant and dramatic. They eventually made peace years later, but during the height of their careers the hatred was real and loud. Steven Adler was not just a drummer. He was Axl's childhood friend. They grew up together. They dreamed together. But drugs destroyed that bond. Steven's addiction affected his playing, and Axl believed it threatened the band's future. Firing Steven was painful, but necessary, at least in Axl's eyes. Steven felt betrayed. Axl felt justified. Lawsuits followed. Angry interviews followed. Years of silence followed. This feud was not fueled by ego, but by heartbreak. Axl lost a friend. Steven lost everything. Izzy Stradlin left Guns N' Roses quietly, but the tension was deep. Izzy hated chaos. He hated touring drama. He hated Axl's control. Axl felt abandoned. Izzy felt suffocated. Unlike other feuds, this one stayed mostly silent, but the resentment lingered. Sometimes the quietest breakups hurt the most. Axl toured with Metallica, but the relationship was tense. Axl felt they disrespected him. Metallica felt Axl was difficult. On-stage incidents and backstage comments made things worse. Axl never forgot the lack of support he felt during that tour. This wasn't hatred, but it was lasting resentment. Many feuds grew worse because of the media. Every quote became a weapon. Every silence became a headline. Axl felt misunderstood and attacked, which fueled his anger even more. Axl's grudges cost him years of creativity, friendships, and peace. Albums were delayed. Fans waited. The band suffered. But Axl never apologized easily. With age came reflection. Axl softened. Reunions happened. Regrets were admitted quietly. Time did what fame could not. Axl Rose's anger shaped rock history. His feuds created chaos, but also unforgettable music. Love him or hate him, Axl Rose lived every emotion at full volume, and that is why his story still matters today.